This section is the FCP Course Outline, so we're not going to do the leadership takeaway and recap slides with this section. As I mentioned in one of the first slides, flow, at least the structure of this course, now follows the outline of the flow formula. And the flow formula is vision plus right people plus the 4D model. And then after the 4D model, we're going to show you specific applications in the training to Agile, to scaling Agile, and also to transformation and things like that. So in this first section of the training, and it's a pretty big section now, we go through the flow formula, which I just shared with you. We go through how you use the formula to do the flow friction analysis, which is an extremely powerful root cause analysis for working with your teams and team members. We're going to go through our definition of vision and whether or not you're walking the talk or if you're just talking the talk, and then how you apply the 4D model, define, distill, deliver, and drive, to vision. We talk about how to keep it simple. We share about the VSPT leadership framework that came from West Point Military Academy and our modification of that. We're going to show you the power of cascading vision, some of the things that you're up against when you're cascading vision, and that includes things like language, dilution of your message, and then distilling agreement and distilling everything down to a one thing that's short, crisp, and memorable that you can easily cascade down through the organization and retain what it is that you're trying to communicate. We'll touch on anticipatory vision. We're going to talk about culture and how vision relates to culture. Vision is one part of what creates your culture, and that's why it's so immensely important for the leaders in an organization to understand the power of vision. We're going to talk about when cultures collide. And we're going to look at some brutal facts about delivering vision and some of the things that you'll run into. We're going to chat briefly about flow versus anti-flow, agile management coaching versus just agile coaching and management consulting. A lot of times people think that those are two separate things. Then we're going to talk about the art of politics. So vision is a huge part of what we do in flow. In fact, it's the biggest part. It's really important to make it big, make it visible, understand the difference between vision and mission, and being able to apply that in your daily work. If you start doing this in your daily work, you're going to see amazing improvements in your teams in a lot of different areas. And we're going to go through that in this training. After we have completed the sections on vision, we will then go through the sections on right people, including the 4R model, which is right truth, right values and attitudes, right actions, and right results. We'll also look at personalities and the roles and team leadership. And then we'll move on to the 4D model after going through that section, and that section is quite long. The 4D model is a little bit shorter because we'll have covered it basically in every section right up until that point in time. We'll look at the definitions of flow and how flow turbocharges Scrum, Agile, Lean, and Kanban. Then we're going to get into applications of flow. We'll look at the 4 lenses on leadership and transformation, the AHA curve, how to use that, using flow to lead and govern, agile organizations, or actually any organization for that matter. And flow enables the successful transformation and scaling of whatever it is you're trying to scale organization-wide. After that, we'll look at some of the slides where we have flow in a nutshell, and those could actually be turned into wall posters. I had those up on 11 by 17 papers printed in color in the team rooms for the teams that I was working with. And it's very useful to be able to go back to those and quickly have a conversation with somebody if they have a question or if they're struggling actually doing what we're asking them to do. And so it's a very useful tool. The last section of this course is flow-based Agile. We're not going to go through Agile training. We're not going to teach you Scrum. We're not going to teach you Agile. We're going to teach you how to apply flow to Agile, to Scrum, to transformation and scaling. And then for those of you who are actually interested in taking a Scrum Master certification like the PSM from scrum.org, where you can take the certification, take the test, pass, and you have a permanent certificate from that organization. That's the one that I have been leaning towards much more lately and encouraging people to check that one out rather than the CSM, which is the Certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance. Scrum Alliance requires that you recertify every couple of years, and as I mentioned, scrum.org just has you do the test one time. So this is the last section that we'll go through in the Flow Certified Professional, and again, this is showing you how to take flow out of the book and apply it in the real world.